Welcome everyone. In this video lecture, we will think about the switching power dissipation in a CMOS inverter. So basically, switching power dissipation is one of the type of a dynamic power dissipation. Okay, so this one is nothing but simply one type of a dynamic power dissipation. Okay, so in dynamic power dissipation, when the circuit is in the on state. Okay, so this one is one kind of dynamic power dissipation. Okay, so in a CMOS inverter, we have to find the dynamic power dissipation. So switching power dissipation, better to say. So in this case, this switching power dissipation. So first we have to know something about switching power dissipation. I am writing a PD. Okay, so this switching power dissipation generally arises due to charging and discharging of capacitances. It may be our load capacitances or parasitic capacitances, load or parasitic. Okay, so this one is nothing but simply we are charging and discharging. When charging and discharging phenomena will occur through a capacitances in a CMOS inverter. So we can say this type of thing is our switching capacitance. We are doing switching operation through some capacitance. So it is our switching power dissipation. So in this case, we are just using a CMOS inverter. We have to think about the switching power dissipation in a CMOS inverter. So we are taking this CMOS inverter. Okay, this CMOS inverter. So this CMOS inverter we have. Okay, so in this CMOS inverter we can say this one is our source terminal, that is our S2, because M2 we are saying this one gate, and this one say drain 2, and this one is drain 1, this one gate 1, and source 1. Arrow symbol will always give the source 1. Okay, and both the gates are connected through a common input, say V in, and we are taking the output across the drain in of the terminal M1 and M2 and CL. Very simple thing. Okay, the same thing we are making, and this one is a CL, the load, and pull-up network is just simply a network that connects the load to supply. We can say pull-up network that connects the load connect the load to supply. Okay, that is load our CL, and supply is VDD. This is simply pull up network that connects the load CL to the supply. On the other hand, this pull down network connects load, that is our CL, to ground. Okay, G and D, ground, better to write ground. Okay, so this one is a CMOS inverter. So first thing that we have to find the how much total energy drawn by the power supply. So first we have to find total energy drawn by the power supply. Okay, very important thing. Total energy drawn by the power supply. Okay, clear. So total energy drawn by the power supply we have to find. Okay, so for this purpose I am just taking the same inverter here. Okay, and say this one is our V output. Okay, so when we are giving a low input, okay, when we are giving a low input. So I am writing here, when V in is low, that is our zero or low, so M2 transistor will become on. Okay, simple principle. And M1 become off, because for the NMOS to operate, the get to source voltage of N should be greater than VTHN. Okay, for PMOS, the get to source voltage of PMOS will be less than VTHP. Okay, so M2 transistor will become on and M1 become off. Very simple thing is there. Okay, so when this one is off, so we are saying that there is some resistance, say RPU, pull up resistance. So the same circuitry can be also remodified as RPU. Okay, and this one will be VDD, and this will be our CL, and this will be our V output. For a low input, it will be high. So in this case, the this V output will, the voltage across the capacitor. Initially, it is in 0 volt. Okay, and maximum for a low input, now it will charge up to VDD volt. Okay, so 0 to VDD, the capacitor will charge. Okay, so this one RPU, some resistance will be there. Okay, say RPU, we are just assuming. So when we are giving some supply, so the capacitor voltage will be charged from 0 volt to VDD. So now, in this case, suppose we have to find the total energy drawn. So the total energy drawn, that is our E. Okay, total energy drawn from the supply. Say I am writing EVDD is nothing but simply our PTDT. Okay, this one is the formula. Very simple, because if we have a axis, say power axis, okay, and there will be some time axis and some graph is there. Okay, so if we have to find the area for t1 to t2, okay, so this area will give the energy. So energy is nothing but simply p, if p is a function of t, so pt dt. Okay, so I am writing the same thing. Okay, so E due to VD, D due to supply is PT dt. So now one can write this E VDD, energy drawn from the power supply, is nothing but simply the value for VDD value will change from 0 to VDD, and P. So P equals to VI. One more formula I am writing here, VI. So for a particular time instant, the current is flowing through the transistor is ID T dt. Okay. Power equals to VI. So VDD and the instantaneous current, okay, will flow in this one. Okay, so this current, instantaneous current at time t, so the power will be VI. So VDD into IDT. So instantaneous power PT is nothing but simply VDD into IDT. Okay, I am highlighting. Clear? So next, this EVDD, this EVDD term, EVDD is nothing but simply 0 to VDD, VDD and IDT. IDT will be same current flowing through the capacitor. So we can write IDT or ICT, anything you can write. Okay, I am writing here IDT or ICT. Okay, and the current across the capacitor is nothing but simply CL dV naught by dt. For a particular time instant, we are saying this voltage will be V naught. So I am writing dV naught by dt. Okay, ICT equals to CL dV naught dt by dt. How to remember this thing? Q equals to CV. Put Q equals to IT CV. So IC we can write C dV naught by dt. This one is one of the way to remember how I am writing. Okay, so you can also write like if you know direct formula, you better to write CL dV naught by dt. Okay, now this voltage particular V output or V naught, okay, anything you can write, will be vary from 0 to VDD. Okay, initially it is uncharged, so it is 0, and finally it will go to VDD. So 0 lower limit will be 0 to VDD. Okay, so now we have to put the value first, integral value from 0 to VDD, then VDD into CL dV naught by dt. So C dV naught by dt into dt. So this dt cancel out. CL VDD. Okay, CL VDD I am taking common. dV naught 0 to VDD. Okay. So finally, what we can write, EVDD, total energy drawn from the supply. Total energy drawn from the supply will be CL VDD and integral. So it should be V naught value will be VDD to 0. So it will be directly CL VDD minus 0. Simple integration rule. So it should be CL VDD square. So finally, what we can write, CL VDD square. So this one is the total amount of energy drawn from the power supply. Okay, total amount of energy drawn from the power supply means power supply. This power supply will give a energy CL VDD square. So now the capacitor, for a low value of input, okay, output value will be high. Okay, and but it is initially uncharged. Okay, so for a low value of input it will give a high value, and during that time the energy drawn by the power supply will be CL VDD square. Now we have to find that how much energy that capacitor CL store. So CL basically stored how much energy? Energy across the CL will be half CL VDD square. I think from 12 standard we are going through this type of formula. Half CVS square, half CVS square, the energy. Okay, or better, if you want to derive across the energy across this capacitor, so better to write energy stored in the capacitor CL, in the capacitor CL. Okay, so the energy stored in the capacitor CL. Okay, we know the formula half CV square, but we can also derive this. This is very simple. So for this purpose we can write, we are doing all operation for a low input only now, so we can write E. Okay, I have to say EC, energy stored in the capacitor for a time 0 to t. Okay, and at that time the voltage will be say V naught. Okay, so V naught into IT dt, the power. Okay, V naught IT dt, we can write E equals to Vi integral 0 to t vt V naught IT dt. Okay, V naught is the variable. Okay, so now this V naught IT is simply our CL dV naught by dt into dt. Okay, dt dt cancel. Now this output voltage of the capacitor across the capacitor, that is our load capacitor, will be vary from 0 to VDD. Okay, here better to write V naught energy across the capacitor. So it should be CL V naught dV naught 0 to VDD. And if V naught square by 2, so CL V naught square by 2 and VDD 0. So the energy will be simply half CL VDD square. So energy stored in the capacitor is our half CL VDD square, already mentioned here. Okay. So energy stored in the capacitor is 1 by 2 times of CL VDD square. Okay. So energy stored. So energy, or say we can say the what, dissipated power, total energy dissipated power. So we can write the power dissipated across PMOS. Okay, or we can say the pull up network. Pull up network, NTW I am writing, will be total energy drawn by the total equals to energy, total energy drawn by the supply minus energy stored in the load capacitance. So energy drawn, so we can write as EVDD. And the total energy drawn by the supply EVDD minus EC. Okay. So energy drawn by the supply, our CLVDD square. Okay. And energy stored in the capacitor during the low input. Okay. CLVDD square. So it should be 1 by 2 CLVDD square. So the power dissipated across the PMOS, power dissipated, or we can write power dissipated across the PMOS network will be simply 1 by 2 CL VDD square. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Now for the, this one is the during the low input, when V in is 0, PMOS is on, PMOS become on. Now when the PMOS is on, the amount of heat, we can say the amount of heat dissipated across the that transistor will be half CL VDD square. Now when the input is low, okay, so this one again I am taking the CMOS inverter. Okay, this one is our V output. It is very simple, but we have to practice. V in, when V in is high, that is our say 5 volt or anything. Okay, so when this one is 5, so when V in is high, okay, so at that time our NMOS, that is our M1 become on and M2 become off. Okay, this one become off. So we can say there will be some CL capacitance, and there must be some, say, R pull down network. So DN, I am writing it RDN, and the energy stored by this capacitor during the on state of PMOS, CL VDD square. So now in this case, it is observed that now energy this energy will be dissipate across this load resistance or in the pull down network, and it will initially, this one is some value, say EC, it will change from EC to 0. Okay, so finally we have a voltage of V naught, high voltage, okay, say 5, and after a certain time it have to go to 0 for high to, when high input it should be low. So the total energy will be dissipated across this one, and this value will be also CL VDD square. This total energy is dissipated across this one, so power dissipated across the n most simple thing will be half CL VDD square. So in a complete cycle, in a cycle, the total power dissipation across the NMOS will be half CL VDD square and half CL VDD square across the NMOS when input is high. Okay. So when we are giving a frequency, if the inverter is switched with a frequency F, when inverter is switched with a frequency F. So the total power dissipation, or we can say the power dissipation in dynamic or switching, will be CL VDD square into F. Okay, clear? So this one is all about this simple thing. So better to think about in that manner, means for when the input is high, when the input is high, this one is cut off. Okay, off. Okay, but at the final instant time the energy will be half CL VDD square. Now this energy will dissipate across this capacity, sorry, this transistor M1. Okay, and initially it is 5. Okay, but after certain time tt, say 0 or certain time, it will go to 0 output for a high value. So this total energy will be dissipate across the transistor M1. So the total power dissipation in a cycle will be CLVDD square, and if it is switched with the frequency say F, so total power dissipation will be CLVDD square F. So this is all about the simple description about the switching power dissipation in a CMOS inverter. So this is all about the concept of this switching power dissipation. So better to go through this video. So thank you for watching.